Good evening and welcome to RTD's News Edition, the major stories. The Health Minister meets the people today. In London youths outside the country mass trial for Boko Haram suspect starts in secrecy. Welcome to our newsroom, dear viewers. The White City, Tijora, hosted the ministerial delegation composed of the Minister of Health, Dr. Jama Al-Miokiye, and the Deputy Minister in charge of decentralization, Hamidou Mohamed Aramis, in order to participate in the national consultation on health. The two ministers arrived by boat to Tijora and were enthusiastically received by the local authorities and the population. The prefect Abdul Malik Mohammed Benita, the president of the regional council Umar Hussein, and the notables were at the head of the people who came to welcome the ministerial delegation. The Minister of Health then took a bath of crowd applauding for him, and then in close proximity to the headquarters of the regional council, Minister of Health Jama Al-Miokiye, in a speech delivered for the occasion, recalled that the purpose of this meeting with the population is to gather proposals, the grievances and the aspirations of the representative civil society of the White City in health. In an intervention, the Minister Delegate to Decentralization, Hamidou Aramis, said that this conference debate is very interesting for a consensus to improve the health benefit of the population of Tijora, and it is also an important component for the implementation of the decentralization process. He has also announced that the other government departments will promote this approach, particularly in the regions, with the objective to strengthen the decentralization to improve the conditions of life of the population. And for his part, the Health Minister, Dr. Jama Al-Miokiye, provided clarification on all the issues, explaining in depth the broad lines of health policy pursued by the government. The Minister further stated that all the grievances expressed will serve a matrix for the development and programming of health development perspectives that will take into account the specificities of the region. And the Minister also recalled that the main mission of his department emanates from the directorates given by the President of the Republic, Al-Hajj Ismail Margili, who cares about the well-being of its fellow citizens throughout the whole national territory. An honorary visit and respectful for customary traditions, the Minister of Health, Dr. Jama Al-Miokiye, did not fail to greet the Sultan of Tijora, Abdul Qadir Ahmed. He was accompanied by the Deputy Minister in charge of decentralization, Mr. Aramis, and the Prefect of the region, Abdul Malik Mohammed Benita. The Sultan was also surrounded by the wise men of White City, including the village chief, Mr. Ahmed Barakat Siraj, members of the Council of Elders, as well as the parliamentarians and local elected representatives. During his interview, the Minister of Health explained to the Sultan of Tijora the reasons for his visit to Tijora and the objective south during the conference debate held in the morning. And this dialogue was reinvigorated in the image of the Summer University and the citizen meetings that the RPP party held recently at the People's Palace. The meeting was held in the presence of the President of the Annex of Tijora, Ali Mohammed Ali Galile, the RPP National National Secretary Dr. Jamal Miki urged local frame executives to further strengthen the teaching and the transmission of founding principles to the RPP, and as well as the values that are based on ideals of patriotism, civic spirit and unity. Continuing with the national news, the Minister of Women and Family, accompanied by the UNFPA Regional Director, went to the locality of Douda in the region of Arta. The objective of this visit was to see the evolution of the program put in place for the empowerment of women and the protection of young girls against the female genital mutilation, the community as well as the family planning in order to protect their health and promote their empowerment. They are thanking the Minister for the efforts and her involvement in the matter of women. The Minister of Women and Family did not fail in her intervention to thank the population for the warm welcome and ask the population to continue to fight against the traditional harmful practices and promote women's empowerment. The Trade Minister Hassan Hamad yesterday received a strong Yemeni delegation led by the Trade Minister Dr. Mohammed Abdul Wahid Al-Mutaimi. The Yemeni delegation is on a working mission to Djibouti with a view to strengthen the cooperation between the two neighboring countries. Discussions between the two sides concerned ways and means to achieve the signing of a trade and maritime agreements and the promotion of agricultural investments. The realization of the signing of these agreements will strengthen the historical relations between the two countries. The Trade Minister Hassan Hamad reassured his Yemeni counterpart on the determination of the Djibouti government to work to strengthen relations with Yemen. He expressed the wish that Yemen quickly regain its peace and serenity. The activities for the celebration of the National Week of Teachers are continuing in different institutions of the country, and in accordance with the theme of the year, Smart School, Autonomous Teachers and Innovative. Teachers are evidence of imagination to celebrate in their own way the week dedicated to them. At Fugzawa, teachers had the poetic soul and lyrics. They paid tribute to the most beautiful and most notable profession in the world. The opportunity for the officials come to participate in the celebration. Isa Kabil Mohammed, head of service of the national languages, seized the opportunity to salute the work of the teachers in their establishments, and at the same time a second delegation visited successively the establishments of Gabod 1 in the school Gele Battle. In each establishment, the delegation received a warm welcome. Then the officials have taken the time to share with the inspectors of the electoral district, the heads of the institutions and teachers on both the team and the planned activities on the occasion. And on Monday, the National Teachers Week was celebrated in the Dakhil region, just like other regions. The ceremony of this day took place in the biggest primary school of Dakhil, called the Sayyid Abdo, known under the name of Dakhil 1. The entire Bari teachers area of the unit, as well as the local authorities for its prefect, took a part in this ceremony dedicated to teachers. And on the menu during this ceremony of cultural dances, sketches presented by students of Dakhil 1, poems in French and in local languages to present by teachers. The mediator of the Republic, Dr. Qasim Isaq Usman, accompanied by one of his collaborators, Mr. Douale Abdul Qadir Douale, visited this morning Arta Prefecture, where they were welcomed by the authorities as well as the customary chiefs of the locality. After the warm welcome which has been reserved to the mediator, he has explained the purpose of his travel, which is to relocate the activities of the mediator to the regions of the interior, which corresponds to the accompaniment of the decentralization policy initiated by the President of the Republic, and will also avoid the movement, often costly, of the complaints to the capital. The administration officials as well as the customary chiefs have congratulated and thanked the mediator for this initiative and are committed to do all that is in their power to assist. In Nigeria now, the more than 2,300 suspected Islamist militants are expected to appear in court in Nigeria from Monday in an unprecedented series of mass trials that local authorities hope is seen as evidence of process in the fight against Boko Haram, one of Africa's most resilient insurgencies. Saeed Mohammed with more updates.
The trial of more than 1,600 people suspected of ties with Boko Haram was expected to begin in Nigeria behind closed doors in the biggest legal investigation into the 8 years militant Islamist insurgency. More than 20,000 people have been killed and 2 million forced from their homes in northeastern Nigeria during the insurgency, contributing to what the United Nations has said is among the world's worst humanitarian crises. Nigeria Ministry of Justice said last month the trial of around 1,670 people held at Kenji detention facility would begin at the site in the central Niger state on Monday and would be presided over 4 judges. The ministry has said that after the Kenji trial are completed, a further 651 people suspected of having links with Boko Haram and currently being held at prisons in Maiduguri, the capital of the northeastern state of Borno, would go on trial.
The international scene now, from the Spanish crisis now, Catalan leader Carles Puigdemont is facing growing pressure to draw plans to break from Spain ahead of a key address to the regional parliament. There is a speculation he might announce an unilateral declaration of independence following a dispute referendum.
On with concern at events in Catalonia. In Paris, the French government has said it won't recognize an independent Catalonia. France European Affairs Minister Nathalie Loiseau has said it would mean expulsion from the bloc. If independence was to be declared, the first consequence would be that Catalonia would have to leave the European Union, Nathalie Loiseau said on French television. In London, British Prime Minister Theresa May, who has been facing mounting calls to speak out against the scenes of police brutality in Catalonia, stuck steadfastly to legal position. I want to see, and I'm sure all honorable members want to see, the situation being resolved peacefully, but we are very clear as a government that the Spanish government has the right to uphold the Spanish constitution and also that all parties should be operating under the rule of law. Meanwhile, Scotland's first Prime Minister Nicola Sturgeon offered a more conciliatory voices, raising the possibility of the EU playing a mediation role between Spain and Catalonia.
That's all for this news. Thank you for joining us on RTD and have a good night.